Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm Andy RC and today I'm checking out the MJX Bugs 3. Now this is an interesting quadcopter. It's another one of these hybrid toy grade, hobby grade quadcopters, much like the Bayang Toys X16. We have got 1806, 1800 kV brushless motors and ESCs, but it is surrounded with a plastic toy grade quadcopter shell and also a toy grade transmitter as well. Now this is the non-camera, non-FPV version, but it does come with this camera mount here, and the camera mount comes with some foam pads there, and that is because the mount is a little bit too big for all of the action cameras, and then you are to wedge some of those pads in here, and then all of these different types of action cameras fit in it. It is a problem with it though, there's no holes in it anywhere to start and stop video recording, so you can cut a hole in there. I've got the Hero 4 Silver in here and also fits the Yi camera as well, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the video recording and then put the camera in, and hopefully I'll get some decent footage. Now you can see it wobbling about there. It does look like there are tiny vibration mounts in this part of it here, so I will have to check that out. Now, a big concern that I usually have when it comes to brushless motors and toy grade transmitters is the range, because obviously brushless motors are a lot more powerful and can do a huge amount of damage and injury. However, it says this one should be good for 300 meters, so that should be fine. I'm going to be flying it line of sight anyways. So these look like they're about 8-inch propellers there, and they tighten up themselves, so you are given a little spanner tool which clings onto the motors there, and then you turn them on by hand. Be careful using that tool though, I did scuff a couple of the motors using it. Now, one thing that's different with this one and the X16 is it's kind of like a 2-in-1 quadcopter. So it comes out of the box without these landing legs and camera plate on, and you can see here on the arms it's actually got some more landing legs, and if you take this off and the camera, it'll be a lot lighter setup, and it's kind of like a sports quadcopter then. Now it is stuck in self-level mode, so it's not got acro or anything like that, but I do think that this would be good as a first brushless model after you have mastered something like a brushed micro or something like that, or a bigger geared quadcopter with brushed motors. This would be good after that, but make sure you have mastered it, because brushless motors can do a huge amount of damage. So when it comes to the battery, it's quite a big battery, this one, and it slides out here. It is a 1800 milliamp 25C battery, so 7.4 volts, and it's using an XT30 connector. Now I don't have a connector for my hobby grade charger to charge XT30 connector, so I'm having to use the charger that it comes with, and it charges off the balance port at only 0.5 amps, so you're looking at probably about a 3-hour charge time with this thing, so a bit of a downside with that. I wish it had an XT60, but there you go. I guess a 2-cell battery doesn't require an XT60. Perhaps a JST might have been better, I don't know though, with them being brushless motors. Anyway, just a small thing for me with that. So we have got a very powerful LED up the front there, and also some lights under the arms as well. Like I say, I've got the GoPro Hero 4 in there. So onto the transmitter, and this one doesn't have altitude hold, and it's in mode 2 there. Now I think that's a good thing. I think altitude hold's not really good for beginners, and I think it gets you into a bad habit of not regulating your throttle, so I actually quite like that it doesn't have altitude hold. So let's take a look at some of the controls here. So we have this button here, and that takes you through 2 different rates. That's high and low. and then this button here, a short press will arm it, so not the usual arming method there, and a long press disarms it as well. Oh, this button here as well, if you long press it, it turns the LEDs off underneath the quadcopter, but not that main headlight there. This button here is non-functional on this model. Apparently it's for starting video recording, etc. And then this one is a flip button. You have to hold it whilst doing the maneuver, otherwise just a short press won't do anything. And you can also calibrate the accelerometer holding this button as well, but I have not done that with this one. So it takes 4 AA batteries, has a blooming screw in there, and you are given a Phillips screwdriver in the package, which is quite nice. And one thing I will say is, be very careful when putting these legs on. I actually destroyed the head of one of these screws, as they go in here really tight. And so yeah, just be careful with that. It's a mistake that I made. Looks like we've got the 2.4 gigahertz antenna there, so a huge antenna, so maybe that's how we will get good range out of it. Anyway, there isn't an on and off switch on this one, or button, so what I'm going to do is see if I can find a bit of grass. And the first thing I'm going to do is turn the camera on. So it's just got this little clip here, and let's see if I can get the camera out, and we just have those foam pads at the bottom there. So let's turn this camera on. Of course you don't need to use a GoPro, this is just one that I've got. I'm hoping to get some pretty decent quality out of this, so I'm going to start the recording on this and then slot the camera in and put it in this case here, and it just snaps shut. The GoPro does sit a little bit loose still, but it's not too bad. It doesn't look level either, it's not quite sitting on those pads correctly. There we go, still not perfect. This camera does move around a lot in this holder, so probably not designed for the Hero 4 really. I imagine people spending this amount of money on a sort of toy grade quad aren't going to be using a GoPro. You can angle this here as well. You've got some screws in there. You can angle the camera as well. It doesn't look like the props are going to get in shot, but I will have to see. Okay, so it says the way to get this going is to press this button down here and then turn on the transmitter and wait for this light to start flashing, and then plug in the quadcopter. So I'm going to do that, and then we should get a beep from the transmitter, and that's what I got. So let's press that arming button and see what happens. The motors are going, and there we go. Pretty uneventful. Wow, really quiet. Those LEDs are very bright as well. So it seems that it starts off in the high rate mode. So if I just dab it one more time. Oh no, there we go, that's the high rate mode. So it seems that the low rate is still a fairly high rate. Let's try that again. Yeah. I mean, it's not crazy, you know, but that's nice. Very sporty feeling. Oh, I like this. Very smooth. Yeah, that's really nice. So let's just test that those LEDs turn off with a long press. So a long press of the rates, I think it said. Yeah, there we go, and it beeps. And a long press again. I like them, I'm gonna leave them on. Really nice, really bright. So the flip function, do I dare? Oh, you have to hold it down, don't you? Let's try that again. Flip function with expensive GoPro. Oh, it flips really fast actually. Hey, I like this. Yeah, this is good. Quite a windy day today, and you wouldn't know it with this thing. It's just really nice and smooth. That headlight looks cool. So beep beep is the highest rate. I really like this one. A good way to get into brushless quadcopters without breaking the bank, and it doubles up as a really sporty quad as well, with good range, good amount of power. You know, they say that it'll fly for about 18 minutes without the camera on it and the legs. I'm not sure whether I believe that. And supposedly it's also got telemetry, so when the battery's running low, this transmitter should beep. We will see. But so far this is looking like a good one. Oh, it's fast as well. That's a point. Let's see how much punch the thing's got. My camera's still recording. I can see the light going. Let's go for full punch out. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. I imagine it will be more as well without the camera and the legs on. Now it's a sunny day today, so with it just being a toy grade mount, we may possibly have some jello on the screen. I'll have to see about that. And it's one of the shortest days of the year today, so that sun's going to be right on the horizon. So I'm not expecting the smoothest of camera footage, but as this is such a smooth flyer, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen like a toy grade quad fly this smoothly, but I guess it is a brushless model. But I tell you, there's some brushless models I fly that don't fly this smooth, so yeah, pretty good. Good and quiet as well. I think that's important to a lot of people. You know, we have these mini quads now, and they sound like Formula 1 cars, some of them. I'm flying them out here and sometimes cringing because I feel sorry for my neighbours and having to listen to it. Sometimes I'll do a punch out with one of those mini quads and I can hear it echo over the entire area. It sounds good, but not if you're trying to have a nap. Let's try that flip again. I have to hold it down. Yeah, even with the camera, plenty of power to be doing rolls and flips, etc. Let's try a flip. Yeah, so it seems like it does gain a little bit of height, and then you have to correct for the loss in height yourself when it recovers. Ah, oh, this is so nice to fly. Yep, it's a good one, this one. Can practice my mode 2 flying as well. I'm trying my best. You can't turn this headlight off, but I don't think that bothers me. In fact, I think you could probably take that headlight out and stick a camera in there. I imagine that's what the camera version is going to be, because that is a perfect spot and size for a camera. Could probably modify it myself and stick a camera in there. I think that would be a good one. I think this would be a good one for FPV. Have to see what the camera footage is like, but I got a good feeling about this one. So I'll put a link in the description to it. This one was sent in by GearBest, and I always say in these videos, oh, it costs this much, and then people say no it doesn't, and they change the price. So these prices always fluctuate, certain offers on and things like that. Oh yeah, really smooth turns. What I particularly like about quads that don't have altitude hold is, like, I fly like mode 1 and mode 2, and when they have altitude hold, I have no idea what stick I'm to put in, because both of the sticks are spring loaded. With this one I can see that one of them isn't on a spring, so that's my throttle. This thing is just gonna fly all day. I can believe when they say it's got a huge flight time without its camera on, because it's got a huge flight time with the camera on. Now I'm gonna try and fly it a little bit slower here, because I imagine the footage hasn't been the smoothest so far. And the sun's gone in a little bit, so let's see if I can get it into a nice hover. Oh, the wind's blowing it a little bit too much, and the resolution of these toy grade sticks is not great. Better than some though, I have to say. I think that's a lot to do with the quadcopter and how well it's tuned. Just look how quick those clouds are moving in the background there. That's not good, is it? They know something I don't know. Let's see if I can get it hovering smoothly. Oh yeah, doesn't need altitude hold. That is nice. Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with this, because I didn't expect it to be this good, and it is. Seems like those motors are pretty efficient and quiet, very important. No indication of any low battery. And look at this, we have blue sky. Very rare I've seen blue sky recently. Very rare I've seen sky, it's just been foggy. You can really see those LEDs well. No idea if my GoPro's still recording. The batteries on the GoPros aren't that good. Not on the old Hero 4, but the light's still flashing, so I'm gonna say it might still be recording. Sounds like a little bit of a flutter on the motors there, but I don't think that's a problem. Sounds a bit like the Hubsan 501S, except not as bad when you throttle up. That thing had a crazy noise on it. This one has a little bit of a flutter. Oh, there we go. The transmitter is beeping. And I'm gonna come in for a landing, because I don't want to wreck this one. Usually I would see how long it would fly for, but nah, I don't think it's going to land itself, so I don't want to ruin the battery. Let's see how well it lands, see if I can find a bit of grass. So the propellers are still going, but you know, they idle at a really low RPM, so I guess I'm going to have to long press that now to stop the motors. And this has stopped beeping. No, still beeping. Okay, I'm gonna unplug the quadcopter and also turn this off, because that's annoying. Well, there you go, that is my review of the Bugs 3 from MJX. I have to say, really impressed, really like it. I'll put a link in the description if you wish to get one. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.